Just over a year ago, I started working for the Books to Prisoners program here in Urbana, Illinois, selling books online to generate revenue that they use to help cover program expenses. I've written about this work a couple of times in my blog, and I even made a video about what I do on my end of it about a month or so ago. I've been asked on my blog and social media and in person for more information about the Books to Prisoners program, what it is, what it does, and how they can get involved. A few weeks ago, I had the opportunity to sit down with Lolita Dumas, the volunteer supervisor for the Urbana-Champaign Books to Prisoners program, to get a better understanding of the overall function of the program beyond my role in it so that I could better answer these questions. For the sake of keeping the information in coherent units, I've decided to split this interview into two segments. What follows is a general rundown of what Urbana-Champaign Books to Prisoners is, what it does, and how prisoners can get in contact with the program. Next week's video will give a general tour of the workroom, what goes on in a typical volunteer session, and how you can get involved. I've also left further information and provided some links in the description down below. And now here's Lolita to answer some of your questions.
I'm Lolita Dumas with Books to Prisoners. I'm the volunteer supervisor. I manage the volunteer sessions on Tuesdays and Saturdays and kind of provide the linkage between Books to Prisoners and the IMC because we're a working group within the Independent Media Center. Books to Prisoners is a not-for-profit organization, which means anything that they receive is all donations. The books are donated by the community, as well as any monetary donations. It got started because there was a student was given a handful of letters and told fill these orders, basically, and from that grew Books to Prisoners. And we actually started in 2004, so it started with a U of I student. And so what we do is based on filling orders, because those who sort the books have been with the organization pretty much since it started in 2004, and they fill letters, so they pretty much are well versed in what prisoners want. And also we have a weight restriction. It determines whether or not the book goes on the shelf. Our weight restriction right now is 2.5 pounds. And so typically if we get a book, if it's not a textbook and it's over 2.5 pounds, we're looking at going to the sale box or going to Lisa Amazon provider. The sale box is referring to our book sale, which we host twice a year. And in our book sale, we sell the books for $2 hardbacks, 50-cent paperbacks, and from $0.25 to $1 for children's books. And if we see a book that we believe that's going to be worth more than $2, then we'll give that book to our Amazon provider, Lisa. Well, as previously mentioned, Books to Prisoners is not-for-profit, which means everything is by donations, including the monetary. And so for us, the way that we fundraise, we have our book sale, which is twice a year. And then we also have, work with Lisa, our Amazon provider. And oftentimes, the books that Lisa's able to sell actually mirrors the fundraising that we make from a book sale. And so being a non-for-profit, the more that we can earn, the more time that we have in terms of being able to actually provide this service. Because right now we're providing this service at no cost to the inmate, but our shipping often fluctuates between $400 and $900. And so if you're shipping $900 worth of books, it's putting a serious drain on your financial resources. So Amazon helps to keep us afloat along with our book sales. We work with all state and federal institutions in Illinois, so we serve all of Illinois. We do. There's actually a sister organization with Books to Prisoners called 3Rs, Reading Reduces Recidivism, and they actually work directly with prison librarians, where they actually have librarians come to a volunteer's house and select the specific books that they want. So if there is a library, 3Rs has a chapter near that particular facility. So for instance, Carbondale, there's a facility down there, and so there's a chapter of 3Rs that works with that prison librarian to get he or she the books that they want. In addition to our sister organization, 3Rs, we also, Books to Prisoners, have a lending library, which that is, we actually work directly with prisoners in the county jail. We have 2 county jails here in Champaign County. It's called a downtown jail, and we do 2 library services there on Monday and Tuesday, and then we do a library service at the satellite jail. So that's where we're actually in the facility, and they come and check out books with us. Given that the resources for education has decreased within the prison system, when prisoners request books from us, that's kind of like their only supply. And most often they'll ask us for books such as GED and trade. And those trade books are so that when they return to the community, they can actually have something that they can work with. versus returning to the community and not having changed? Well, all the time, they're always grateful for the books that we send because we're receiving our books based on donations. We don't always have a specific title, but because we work really hard to put together quality books, oftentimes they'll say, well, I know you didn't give me exactly what I wanted, but I really appreciate what you sent to me. So it's almost always gratitude. They'll often send us copies of their GED certificate. Sometimes they've sent us pictures of their families when they're about to get out. So it's always gratitude. Mentioned earlier, like they'll ask for the GED, they'll ask for textbooks. Oftentimes they may have gotten a dictionary and they'll say, taking college English, so now I want a college dictionary. And so depending on, how long ago it was, we may send them another dictionary. Mystery thrillers, Grisham, Kunitz, urban fiction. So a variety of books. I mean, we often have someone who asks for like nuclear physics, and unfortunately we couldn't fill that particular order, but there's a range. There's definitely a range. Well, they would just write directly to us. P.O. Box 515, Urbana, Illinois 61803. Oddly enough, Books the Prisoner has never advertised in prisons, but people find out about us through word of mouth. Oftentimes, prisoners, if their cellmate isn't able to write, they'll let them write and put the letter in their envelope. And so they kind of share information about us, but they can directly have the prisoners write to us at P.O. Box 515, Urbana, Illinois 61803, and then we'll fill their order.
Thanks so much to Lolita for taking the time to sit down with me. Don't forget to check back next week to learn about the volunteer process and how you can volunteer. But let's say you don't have time to volunteer or you don't live in Urbana, Illinois, and you still want to help. First, help get the word out. Share this video. Second, consider helping out financially. There are two ways to do this. You can either donate directly to the Urbana-Champaign Books to Prisoners program, or if you're in the market for a book, you can check out my Amazon store, Ike Fox Books, where 50% of the proceeds go directly to support this program. Links for both of these are in the description. Some of you are probably thinking, well, this is all great, Lisa, but this program only serves prisons within the state of Illinois. And I want to connect somebody to services like this in another state. What do I do? Fortunately, ours is not the only Books to Prisoners program. There are many others that serve prisons across the country, and I have linked information about them in the description. If you're aware of a similar program that I haven't listed, please feel free to let us know in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to click that subscribe button, and don't forget to check back next week for part 2.